Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring team.
Oh, no.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl, and that is Paul Mawade. Paul, fresh back from Magic Round in Brisbane. How was it?
Well, there's a reason they call it Magic Round, because it's sensational. It's absolute. It's magical. And the Warriors, they put on a magical performance. It was just so good to see. Brisbane is a very, very good city to host Magic Round, because the public transport sort of rocks up there just down from the barracks. People walk up down Caxton Street, which they close off, pubs all the way down, and then you get to Suncorp, bang, in you go. Yeah. Look, if they were going to take it anywhere else, they'd probably have to bring it to Wellington.
Jeepers. Not sure that's going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I'll just throw it out there.
And Teddy, welcome in, mate. You weren't on ground Magic Round, but I'm sure you had a magic weekend.
I wasn't there Magic Round. I just was enjoying Paul's rubbing shoulders with greatness up there. It was highly entertaining. But yeah, maybe if Wellington gets a rectangular ground, you can try and get Magic Round. But until then, I think we'll look to other more appropriate cities, Paul.
I don't even think we get AFL Magic Round even with the Circle Stadium.
Yeah.
And last man in to the tackle, Searley. He was on ground in Magic Round. Searley, what was the highlight apart from the Warriors win?
Oh, just Caxton Street in general, I think. You mentioned can't touch on the Warriors win, but the amount of Warriors fans that were there from the Friday through to the Sunday, I honestly thought I was still in Auckland. It was crazy to see. Everyone's in good spirits, plenty of banter flowing between all the supporters of all the teams. And it's just an unreal atmosphere. It's like an R&V for rugby league fans. The party doesn't stop even if your team doesn't win. You get over it pretty quickly, but luckily our team won, lads. How good.
Teddy, have you ever been to R&V?
Been to R&B? I don't know what that is.
R&V.
Yeah, R&B. I have spent many nights in the Caxton, though, and it is one of the great joints of the world. So it is rugby league to the core up there. Rugby league to the absolute core. For someone like Searley, a genuine rugby league train spotter, he would have just been turning around and there's a Jeff Bagnall, or there's a random blast from the past. Good. So.
Billy Moore was there with a North Sydney Bears jersey on. It was sensational.
Oh, how good. And you got to rub shoulders with James Graham.
You know who Billy Moore is? Billy Moore is the last of the Japanese soldiers in the Philippine wilderness fighting World War II. The North Sydney Bears are gone, Billy. You and Greg Poirot can come out of the jungle now.
Well, I hear they may not be gone. They might be the West.
We hear that every year.
The Western Bears.
Every year. You got to rub shoulders with James Graham. Had a yarn to him, Paul?
Yes. Very nice man.
I think the full interview will be on our YouTube channel today at some point. That's Wednesday. So go check that out.
And I also got to talk to the Penrith Panthers mascot.
Wow. Go on, Searley, hit us.
I don't know if my mics will pick it up, but I'll give it a crack. Did it work?
It worked.
Yes.
It worked. Oh, that's great. Before we get into it, we've lost a couple of coaches this season already. Brad Arthur gone this week. Teddy, who's next in line to go?
Next in line to go, probably. I would say over the next 18 months, there's probably 3 in line to go. So Todd Payton's clearly in front as next in line to go. We've kind of reached somewhat of a period of stability at the moment, so he would be the only one in any danger of going this year. Then kind of looking forward to next year, I think the job at Newcastle could open, the job at Manly could open, and if things go south at Canterbury, the job at Canterbury could open. So I'd say there's 3 to keep an eye on. But fascinating. Brad Arthur Brad Arthur is top of the queue for next to jump in. Like I wrote a pretty long piece on the Raw this week as to. I think he did a good job without being spectacular, but I also think he's I've been very impressed with how he's handled his dismissal. Gone on TV, front-footed, thanked the club, said he learnt what he learnt, said he was better next time. Like all this rubbish about not being shown loyalty. Like he had 11 years at the club. Like so he's been given a good run. He knows he's had a good run. And as a result, driven business. So I'll kind of someone with that kind of humility, I think, is good. And he's beloved by the players. Like it's very hard to keep the dressing room after such a long period of time. So sometimes people just need fresh starts. He'll go somewhere else. He'll do a good job. And Parramatta almost certainly will not hire a better coach than what they have, which is always a downturn. So there's maybe a couple out there that could go with a Holbrook or where they should be going a bit left field. Should be looking at like a Lee Breeze or a Steve McNamara from England, but they're probably going to go with some boom assistant coach like Jason Riles, who's never done anything himself, will be a complete and utter failure. Or better yet, they will give Trent Barrett the job permanently, which would just be the greatest wet dream of all time.
Jeepers. Wow. This is a PG-13 show. Jesus, I apologise.
Oh, wow.
That could be it. We could be done.
From magic to tragic. Oh, well, just because was he the longest serving Eels coach?
Yep, he coached more games for the Eels than any other coach. Just pipped Brian Smith on that front. But yeah, coached more than Jack, coached more than John Murray, coached more than some of the other legends at the club. So it's interesting how he's regarded. Like he certainly won't be up there with the two coaches who won premierships for them, but surely he's on the next tier. With Brian Smith. I think he did some pretty good jobs for the club. Like you got to remember in the years when he'd taken over, just before he'd taken over, they had Ricky Stewart for a year. They had the disaster that was Stephen Kearney. They'd completely mismanaged Daniel Anderson. And they had the swap between Hagan and Smith that didn't really work out because Hagan couldn't cop the joint. So a lot of internal factors. Also, he credit to him. He navigated that politics really well. Kind of helped bring in a period of stability. Took them to finals 5 or 6 years. Took them to just their third grand final since '86. So good coach, and I think just time had come.
And Trent Barrett comes in this week, as you say, but we'll talk about that later. We'll move on.
I'm just going to get my stats ready for that one. They'll do all the talking.
Divided opinion, or possibly aligned opinions today. Put the question to you, boys. I might have put two questions out, but very similar. Was that one of the greatest Warriors wins ever? And Searley, I told you to bite your tongue before. I'm going to let you cook first. Go.
Well, the question I received was it the best ever win against the Panthers? And I had that down. But yeah, you've got to chuck it up. I think this outdoes the Sharks win last year, which won us a Hellberg Award. So surely we're nominated for that again. Over 1,000 caps ruled out with injury, losing Tohu during the week, a new spine, 1-6-7 combo that's barely played any football apart from Chans, who's a regular first grader. The other two have been in and out to Maide. Lots of fans have been coming for his neck. Then you got Wade, who goes out in the 12th minute. Paulie Roach comes in and puts on an absolute clinic. Just the determination, the want to win, the mix between structure and ad-lib, offloading footy, which was exciting to see. I thought it was just outstanding. Guys like Dylan Walker really putting their hands up as well. So this was massive. If you look at that team on paper up against the Panthers team that was only really missing Nathan Cleary, then you would have given us no shot heading in. But this was one of the great performances and one that, boy, did we need. So I think the occasion, Magic round up against the 3-time champs, and where we're sitting at the moment in the course of our season, this has to be right up there.
Did I send you my notes on that as well, or it's basically word for word?
Yeah, I can imagine as genuine Warriors frothers, we were thinking along the same line.
Teddy, thoughts?
Look, it was a great win, gutsy win. I don't want to be a dad for it.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It was as much about how poorly Penrith played as it was about the Warriors win. I think the Warriors certainly played well. You discovered a real nice young centre, which you guys have been talking up all year, which is fantastic. And sometimes when you lose your star half, it just causes the rest of the team to take more ownership of the game and lift their own performances. And I really saw that on Saturday. Tamari Martin took some responsibility for the first time all year. This performance is on me, and I thought did a fantastic job. Chance did a great job as a running 5'8". So great win. I'm obviously not as in depth into the history of the Warriors as you guys are. So I've gone to my good friend Will Evans at This Warriors Life to pull out a couple of great Warriors victories that you can froth over from the past. I'll leave it to you guys to determine what was better, but the round 21, 2016, Sean Johnson trying Golden Point to get the win over the Panthers. 4th Golden Point in 5 weeks for the Wars, and the Gene Namu field goal, 1998. Seem to be the two.
Oh, wow.
The two that would be up there. That'd be one for you, Paul. So that'd be the two I'd probably throw in the mix there. But yeah, it was a very nice win. But yeah, I think when you look as a kind of neutral looking at that game, I'm taking more of Penrith maybe very, very un-Penrith-like than the Warriors kind of really stepping up to that next level.
Right, let's get this back on the even keel again.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, look, the Panthers didn't play well because the Wars didn't let them play well. So let's just put that down there first of all. And I think that was shown with Pompey's tackle on, what was the young fella, Cole? He nearly cut him in half. That was sensational.
Just quietly, Paul, Jack Cole from Orange, New South Wales, home of Tedeschi, and put a moment that will never be forgotten by rugby league fans.
The poor fella. But in terms of other victories, of course, there was that comeback victory against the Raiders.
Yeah.
Was that a 3 field goal game? Something.
It was, yeah.
Which was refereed, I believe, by Henry Perinara, big fan of the show. And I go back to the playoff, the finals game against the Storm over there.
Michael Witt in the corner.
Where Michael Witt
2008
scored in the corner.
First time ever, 8th has bet first.
Yeah. That stands out. And, of course, the one against the Broncos over there when I think it was Famuina who flicked the ball back over his head for Irvin Tuimavave to score under the post. That was a very, very strong Broncos side.
I think when
I was at that 8th against first game in Melbourne, and Michael Witt putting the ball over his head in near goal was one of the great laughs of all time. What was he doing?
Trying to eat up the clock.
Yeah, it was a true where were you on this day moment, and I can remember. But I think going back to what Searley said, I think when you put all of, sure, it's probably on paper, it's probably not one of the great wins. It's a good win against 3-time defending premiers. But when you
give it some context,
the situation and the context, 4 straight losses, Magic Round, lost all their stars, playing a reserve grade side. Look like someone said in the presser to Ivan Cleary like that.
He wasn't happy, was he?
No, I think will be up there one of the most, I think, memorable wins for me, and hopefully it kicks the boys on. I thought, as you said, Teddy, Chan's nickel clock start at 6 on that left-hand side, he wreaked havoc in the first half. And is there a case to be made for him to be there full-time? I guess we'll see how he goes this week.
Oh, well, first of all, Tuopiki was sensational at the back and slotted into the line.
Yep.
Just like he'd been there.
He's such a good young prospect. He's such a good prospect.
Yep. As you said, we were joking, but not really joking, Teddy, via text about Tamari Martin in the early stages of the game and you're not offering a lot. And then
I wasn't joking at all.
Well, that's what I mean. It was said in jest, but it was not joking. And then he steps up and completely takes control of that second half. I think he put on 3 tries and a few line break assists as well. And it was just Adam Blake didn't. For once, we're not talking about him. He didn't have his best stuff.
Cost me a fortune in most meters, Mark. Let's have a dip out in Blake bludger.
Yeah, I just think outstanding win. Little story as I was at home watching by myself. The kids were down the other end of the house, and the neighbour's kid was over playing, and I must have been yelling a lot and a few expletives and a few chahoos and all of that. And the next day, Monday, I was over at the neighbour's house, and the dad said, "Oh, I heard you had a bit of fun watching the Warriors last night. It got pretty rowdy at some point." So the kid must have gone home and said, "Dad, Karl's been yelling."
Don't want to go back there.
Snitch.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, great Waz win. Up the Waz. Our Waz. We are flying. Paulie, betting last week. How'd we go?
Right. Here we go.
Bit of enthusiasm, please, sir.
Yeah, well, where do we start? I'll start with Blake. Blake had 2 bets. Knights minus 2.5 into the Broncos, into over 41.5 in the Roosters Sharks game. He had $90 on that. Ding, ding, ding. And then he had Manly plus 11.5, Bunnies plus 8.5, Waz plus 13.5, and unfortunately the Eels plus 13.5.
He's still riding those Eels, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And he'll be hoping the coaching change. Oh, this will turn them around. They're still going to make the top 4. So anyway, he had a win. He collected just under 250 for the week, and now he's down 235.
He's back.
Searley. Well, Searley.
Should we give Searley some time? I don't know if I presume you listen to the pod each week, Searley, but you had a massive collect a couple of weeks ago. Was it a $400 collect or something?
Yeah, just under $430. He had 2 multis. Dolphins plus, this is not Magic Round, the round before. Dolphins plus 6.5. Dogs plus 20.5. Broncos head to head. Had 70 on that. And then he had Taruva, Walsh, and Manu all to score tries. And that happened as well. So, yeah.
It's interesting because I had a coaching change 2 weeks ago. So I've let someone else make the decisions for me, and now things have really started to turn my way. So maybe there's something in it for Blake.
How did he go this week?
He had a couple of multis, once again, very similar to the week before. He had Broncos, Storm, Dolphins, all head-to-head, and Sharks plus 13.5. Collected there.
Much.
And then he had a try-scoring treble, Fafita, Adokar, and Cobbo all to score tries. And I'm pretty sure he meant David Fafita, not Jojo Fafita. Yeah, so that was not a win. But he picked up 178 for the week, and he is only down 79.57 now.
Wow, this is one of the great comebacks.
Here we go.
Karl, okay. Karl had the Raiders into the Titans, both head-to-head, no good. Then he had Titans plus 6.5, Bunnies plus 8.5, yes. And he had Crichton, Coates, and Hammer all to score tries, $10 on that. So he had 2 wins there. He's up 190 for the week and up over $800 for the season so far. Teddy had a loss and a win. He just took the Broncos minus 10.5 or 11.5, whatever it was.
Tough.
That was no good. Then he had a try-scoring treble, but one of the players didn't start, Kyle Felt. So he had Warbrick into Bostock. So I've just got to recalculate exactly how much that was paying before we can pay him out there.
Plenty.
Another win nonetheless. And bring us home, Paul.
Yeah, I had 2 doubles. Roosters into the Bunnies, $50, no good. In fact, neither of those 2 teams won. And then I had Bostock into Blaze Talangi to score a try, and both of those 2 boys scored a try. So I'm up 187 for the week and only down 293 for the season.
Wow. So we're all up for the week. That's huge. Magic round delivers for the punters. Can only presume everyone followed us in, as they all
Surely.
Well done.
do. Tipping, I had a quick look. Blake got 6, Teddy got 5, Paul and I got 4. Searley still yet to sign up.
Tough times, lads. Tough times.
Too much magic for Searley this weekend.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a lot of magic this weekend.
PG-13, guys. PG-13. All right, we'll go quickly around the horn. We've already talked about the Warriors game. Teddy, what other game would you like to talk about?
How about we go to the highlight of the weekend, the Sharks and Roosters. 38-32 heavyweights throwing at each other. The last 2 weeks have been so important for the Sharks in terms of really solidifying their credentials. Like they talked about at the start of the year how they were beneficiaries of a very, very cushy draw. They knocked off Melbourne in Melbourne and then going absolutely run to Chooks. We all knew the Chooks could score points. Whether the Sharks could put 38 on against them was a very different matter indeed. And they were outstanding. So I think Cronulla are really, the pressure on this week. They're going as a favourite against Penrith. And that's, very different kettle of fish as to what we've seen last little bit. Would have been underdogs those last games. But how you couldn't be impressed with the style of Cronulla play. And what Cronulla do better than any other team in the comp. This is what Craig used to do at the Roosters. He's a big believer in getting men around the ball. Big on decoy runners, big on support plays, and just creates indecision in defensive lines. And Cronulla just do that so well. No team works harder off the ball than Cronulla, and it's shown. The young Karl is doing just a remarkable job at centre Talakai there, and Talakai is doing a much better job as that bench impact player. The one thing I took from the game is surely that was a good enough performance from Nicho Hynes to finally put to bed this absolute garbage that he is not the clear-cut New South Wales number 7. This talk that Moses would come back after not playing for 2 months, all this other garbage, Nicho Hynes is by far and away the best option after Cleary, and he has been for a long period of time. And the disrespect being shown to him has been ridiculous. Great game from him. Real kind of landmark game for him, and great to see. I wouldn't be too disheartened if I was the Chooks. A little concerned about obviously leading 38 points, but that was the kind of game it was. But they took advantage of some bad Cronulla mistakes and played some great footy themselves. So. 2 good teams battling out there. Great game.
As a Queensland fan, I wouldn't mind seeing Moses play. I'm sure.
I'd be very keen for Nicho not to be playing for New South Wales.
We'll get to
I agree. He's number 1, head and shoulders above everyone else with Cleary gone.
We'll get to Origin shortly. Is Thomas Hazeltine the new Adam Finnell-Blake? He seems to be scoring tries every week.
He is an absolute filler. I've been on it. Last try score, he's hit I think 3 times in the last 6 weeks. It's like 33-1. I've never loved a human in my life. I started driving the bus for Tom Hazelton for New South Wales. Like, let's get him aside. He would be the perfect Origin player. Surely in the first 20 minutes, just to kind of get big body, can move on his feet. I jest about it, but like he's the real deal, Tom Hazelton.
Real just when you looking at him comparisons, real David Clemmer serial killer vibes from Clemmer's early days.
It reminded me of a young Matt Parsons, also of raw bone serial killer. Probably gonna have a shed at the back with some unpleasant things in it.
Oh, wow. And we go. Oh, welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome back. Jesus.
PG-13.
PG-13. Searley, what game?
Well, we can't touch on the Warriors, can we? So
if you've got any more to say on the Warriors, go for it.
Well, I just wanted to touch on the Warriors fan section because that was elite.
Yeah.
When Edwards was lining up that kick, I think the whole fan section was up. Some people were pulling the fingers. Many people were pointing in the direction that they thought the kick was going to go. and they were damn right about it too. It was great stuff. After that, people hugging, shirtless, shoeies. I don't think I've hugged as many strangers as I have then, and there were genuinely people crying. It was like we had won the grand final. Absolute scene. So well done to the Warriors fans there. Another probably performance of the round. I have to shout out the Knights fullback, Armstrong. I thought he was electric, and it really does. Like, if you're a team in the market at the moment for a young fullback, him, Blaise Talangi, Selwyn Cobbo, that performance he put in, Fa'alongo, there's so many options out there for guys that maybe you could chuck some massive money at and try lure, because ever since Ponga's gone out, he's been exceptional, and the Knights have looked really good too. They're 4 from 4. So, yeah, he's someone that I'm sure a lot of clubs will be inquiring about for their future.
I'll throw 2 Opaki in that list as well.
Yeah.
Nah, he's locked up, Paulie. He's locked up.
Just on that kick from Edwards, I can't remember what Vossi said, but Vossi said something in the lead up to that, like you could tell he wanted the Warriors to win, and he put the little commentator's hex on Edwards, and it worked a treat. But Edwards was kicking them like shit all day.
It was. Well, fun fact, he's not a goal kicker, so that's.
But he used to be.
But I do have a question around Searley's sense of direction. I saw a lot of fingers pointing at the direction of the ball, but I didn't realise the ball was going straight up to heaven, because that's where most of the fingers seem to be pointing towards that I saw.
It was elite. It was elite.
What game do you want to talk about, Paul?
Storm Eels. And I think it showed a couple of things. That the Eels are big and slow, and the Storm just tore them to pieces. And remember, this is a Storm side without Pappenhausen, without Hughes, and then lost Munster during the game. That's 167 gone, and they put 48 on them. It's very, very good signs for the Storm, and not so good signs for the Eels and for anyone who backed them to finish top 4, unfortunately.
Can I just touch on a not so good sign for the Storm? After that game, we were out in town, Harry Grant having beers with Bulldogs legend Josh Reynolds. So that's not a good sign. That's not someone you want to be having some quiet beers with. I tell you what, I'm sure he was led astray for sure.
And obviously inspired into his best game of the season, Harry Grant.
There we go.
Scandal incoming. If it comes, it's breaking on the advantage line.
Love it.
Just quickly, I didn't see all of the game because I was having some quiet beers too. But the Rabbitohs 22, Cowboys 28. The Rabbitohs are, I don't know if they're coming, but they're getting better. They're getting a lot better, and I think we will start to see a few wins from them in the next few weeks, maybe starting with this week.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of hate out there for Mitchell. Crikey. I don't understand it.
Well, people are racist. That's the problem, Paul. So, look, he doesn't have the same. People are very much shaped by kind of super coach like these days, and he's not that kind of fullback. And he's outspoken, and he's got to be that mundane about him. He's a great player, Mitchell. I know he's taken a little while to warm back up into where he's going, but I'm with you, Karl. I think they're going to win, and they're going to win big this weekend against a Trent Barrett coached Eels. Ben Hornby's pulled the right rein here and moved Jack White into the halves. So you've got a Mitchell, White, and Walker, Cook spine. I think it's a very, very good starting point for success against particularly a low team like Parramatta.
We look at. Sorry, you go.
I thought the real story of that game though was not South coming. It was how poor the Cowboys were in victory. It was one of the worst wins I've ever seen. And that they are completely gone. And if there's a more overrated coach in the NRL than Todd Payten, I'll leave my hat alone. How is he secure? He brings nothing. He had bought nothing for 4 years and still just kind of plods on. So, team with that talent should have beaten South, particularly after the start of that. Should have beaten South by 40 down by 1 by 6. Fell.
Yeah. Just going back to Souths, you look at if you just sort of glance at the try scorer sheet, the big four names there, Latrell, Alex Johnson back, Cody Walker, and Damien Cook all scoring tries. They're coming. All right. Let's move on. Something, Teddy, you brought up last week. You wanted to rank the jerseys of all 17 teams from best to worst. I don't know how you guys have done it. I've gone quite a depth of this.
I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it. So, haven't.
Wow.
I do have views though. I've got pretty strong views, so we can work on this. So, how did you want to do it? Are we just talking the main home jersey, right?
The way I've done it, I've gone home and away, and then I've listed them 1 to 17, and then I've done a total and ranked it on the total. But I might have gone too deep into this.
I'm sorry.
Wow, let's hear it. Let's hear it. I want to see this. This sounds like you've put about 5 hours of work into this.
Jeepers creepers.
Look at that, Paul. I've got a little table here and everything.
Oh, I thought that was just the NRL table for this season.
No, it's not. So I'll give you my top home team. I'll give you my top 5 home teams. Warriors in the 1, Broncos in the 2, Dolphins in the 3, Manly in the 4, and Penrith in the 5. And then my top 5 away teams, Broncos 1, Dolphins 2. I really like the Dolphins alternate strip, the black one.
Oh, I hate that strip. I absolutely hate that strip.
Sharks in the 3, another black one. 4 is the Eels and 5 the Dogs. How have you guys? Have you done it at all, Paul?
I didn't do it as in depth as you.
Jesus.
Not like that. No.
One professional.
Well, the number one for me, like clearly, is the Dolphins. They're all red.
The red one.
The red one. I absolutely love that jersey. I'm a traditionalist, so I like to see the Bulldogs and the Dragons with their jerseys.
The V.
The V, and in terms of a waist strip, I'm obviously pretty biased here, but the Bulldogs away strip I absolutely love, and the other one I like is the Roosters jersey. The Roosters, particularly when they've got the collar. I'm just a big fan of the collar. Even if it's a bit of a faux collar these days, you don't get the big old collar coming out. But what I really wanted to talk about was the worst jerseys. And every Newcastle jersey, Newcastle just have this obsession with creating horrific jerseys. Like you've got some pretty simple colours there to work with. What are you doing? Awful jerseys. I hate the Dolphins black strip. And I know why they've got to wear it when they're playing teams like, the Dragons or the Tigers. But gosh, that's a horrid strip. The Warriors over the
poor old Henny Penny.
I'm quite liking the Warriors this year. But historically, have been a team for horrific jerseys. But with the blue, I'm ever since I've gone back to the blue, I've been very big fan of that. I hate Penrith jerseys. Penrith jerseys are horrific. The pink jerseys, the black jerseys, they look awful. Just leave me out of them. And as much as I love the Melbourne Storm, I've got no time for purple in rugby league. There's no time for that. So, ships out the Storm.
Yeah, well, Searley's on a little bit of a delay, and I could see when you said the Warriors have got some of the worst jerseys, his face turned to shock. So hopefully the audio is in sync and you can hear me, Searley, but I'm going to give you the floor for a rebuttal.
Right, some of those jerseys are collector's items. Yes, they were hideous at the time, but on reflection now, they were must-own items just to show your kids the development of the club, where we went wrong on the way to winning our first premierships, the learnings, how it galvanised us as a club, and now we're back. I think some of those Nines jerseys in particular were real relics from us. There was some great kit being pumped out back in those days too, but yeah, I'm really loving the heritage kits this year, in particular ours and the Broncos.
How good was the diamonds, Searley? The diamonds, the best.
Oh, gee.
Oh, beautiful.
Searley's on a proper delay here.
He is big. He had too much magic, I tell you right now.
All right.
Anyway,
Here we go.
Waz number one.
That was about 5 minutes.
Waz number one, home and away.
I don't like the away strip. Not a fan of the away strip.
No, they're number one. There's daylight second for both. And then I do like Manly's home jersey and the Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a sucker, a bit like you, Ted. I like a bit of traditional.
Bit of the V.
No, not necessarily the V, but I like the throwbacks to the old jerseys. Like the Panthers. I don't mind the Panthers black one with the yellow, green, and red in it, but I hate the pink one. Can't stand that. Roosters was up there for me too. Like just very, very simple home and away. Just flip the colours. Consistency as well.
So that to me, you brought up two good things. To me, the things that really irk me are clubs that don't respect their colours. So like a slowly changing colours over here. So I've always had a beam of wanting at Penrith because they're brown and white, which you never see anymore. And people who can't just use a simplicity of shape, like it's a simple V, whole blocks, straight lines, whatever. But Newcastle doing these crazy curves, or like this is just rubbish. Like just have a very simple pattern. Like you spot on about the Roosters, their away jersey is as good as their home jersey. Just invert it. Bulldogs, just invert it. It's great.
Can I put a jersey out there for worst ever? And it comes from Newcastle. That bloody orange thing.
Oh, the tradie shirt.
Oh, leave me out of that.
I reckon they are 0 and 29 in that tradie shirt. They never seem to win that.
And I'll slightly disagree with Searley here that going up against the Simon Mannering
was it the yellow
Wellington
yellow and black? It wasn't even black, was it? It was like a
black jersey from the
Warriors. Was it a black and gold or was it a brown and gold? It
wasn't good.
It looked messy. I saw one at Magic Round.
The Warriors over the years seem to have had every colour in their jersey, which is not great. Pick your colours and stick with them. The worst jersey of all time, though, unquestionably for mine, is when they had some kind of Marvel superhero weekend. And it was Andrew. It was like an Andrew Ryan, like his farewell game or a milestone game of some description. And there he is wearing some kind of Superman shirt, whatever the hell it was. And fun little fact from that, he went and jumped on a bobcat at the end of it to celebrate a try or the win, and almost crippled himself and slid down it and did himself quite a bit of damage. So, but yeah, those themed jersey weekends, I've got zero time for. Like Anzac Day, Indigenous, tremendous. But when you're just selling your soul to get Marvel chips out there, ships out.
I didn't mind the Marvel ones. The Eels were Wolverine. I think the Storm were Iron Man, maybe.
What were the Waz?
No, the Waz didn't get one. There was only about 4 or 5 teams that got one.
It was a disgrace. It's never been done since.
Searley's frozen.
Definitely got those in his closet.
He's had enough. He's frozen.
Yeah, he's gone. We'll push on. If he comes back, he comes back.
Yeah.
Just quickly, Origin bolters. We briefly touched on Origin before. Give me a couple of names, Ted, who your biggest bolters are for Origin or biggest shocks, I guess.
Bolters, I am going with Tom Hazelton. I think it's a chance to be in the rotation at prop. I think he would be a very good choice. Tyrrell May, I think is almost should be in consideration for the prop rotation. Teague Wilton, maybe just on the outside looking at the moment, but I think he'd be a great backer. I think it's going to come down to a choice between probably 3 of Angus Crichton, Hudson Young, Kamali, Oluwatu, and Teague Wilton. But I think if you pick either of those, that'll be good. But I think Wilton's right in the mix there. And I'm probably not Bolton now. He's probably pretty close to certainty now. Matt Burton at 5'8". And for Queensland, I know everyone's pumping Tom Dearden. Great player. No knock on Tom Dearden, but I'll be picking Ezra Mam at 5'8". I think Ezra Mam is outstanding. So maybe the bolter there.
Who are the halves for Queensland?
Not Cam Munster.
It'll be Ezra. You would like Ezra Mam in the halves.
Yeah.
Right.
Ezra and Cherry.
Ben Hunt, 14?
I wouldn't have Ben Hunt at 14. I'd have Dearden at 14. But Queensland don't work like that. For Queensland, I'm 100% picking Ben Hunt. So,
Hunt will be if they go with
Ben
last year, Hunt will be 9.
Well, that him and Harry Grant have just rotated. So
Yeah.
Harry Grant's always named in 9, and sometimes Hunt starts. But Queensland won't drop Hunt, and Hunt's got that Dane Gagai. Always gets picked for Origin, regardless whether his club form is any good. Where I would look for Queensland for maybe not a bolter, but one who shouldn't be anywhere near the team, but probably will get picked. Valentine Holmes, how is he anywhere near consideration? He's going so bad. Surely you're just going to go with a Hammer Cobbo centres and then work around Tolangi,
Coach.
a few others, Coates on the wing.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ben Hunt slot into the 7 with Munster gone, or into the halves. I know that's not where he's played in the last little while for Queensland, but I just wouldn't be surprised. Searley, we're talking Origin bolters, if you can hear us. You got
I'm
some
back.
names you want to throw at us?
Yes.
I'm back. I thought that Hazelton chat that Teddy was throwing out before, I genuinely think there could be a battle between him and Mitchy Barnett to see who gets that bench propping spot for New South Wales, because both of them have been going great guns. And then just on that halves for Queensland, I think they'll go with Dearden. Ezra Mann would be a great option as well. I think they're just so set on those two hookers and that combination that works so well for them.
Oh, no.
To change that. And I think Tommy Dearden. Oh, no. Are we there?
No, he's back.
Surely.
He's back. Yeah. Keep going.
Okay, and I was just saying, I think Dearden epitomises Queensland's spirit, whatever that is, but New South Wales are going to pump you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Haven't you heard Queensland underdogs again?
Oh, gee, that's very nice of Searley to do a Vossi and a commentator's curse on New South Wales right now before it starts.
No, none of that.
All right, let's go the grid. Favourite part of the week.
Newsflash, no red squares for me.
In fact, I can see 3 brains.
That's right, you can.
For Paul Moate, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
You might have got me, Paulie.
I don't think I have.
He didn't get me. Pause the pod. Go and play the grid for Tuesday, 21st of May. Come back and compare your scores. Across the top, we've got 5 or more finals tries. Has scored a try in Origin. Has played for the Wars. Down the left, has played for the Roosters. Debuted in between 2015 and 2020. And has played for the Broncos. Teddy, your top row, please.
5 or more finals tries and a Rooster. Ryan Cross, Brain, 1.38 points. Scored a try in Origin Rooster, my only unicorn. John Doyle, 0.54. Queensland hooker.
Who?
Queensland hooker plays for the Cowboys at the year at Shooks. And Rooster and Warriors player, struggle to be here. Freddie Lussick, 2.97.
John Doyle.
He's made that up.
Yeah.
Someone's got to fact check that.
Wasn't he like one half of the professionals, Bodie and Doyle?
That fell flat
before
for
Apologise to all the listeners.
Yeah.
Searley, what have you got? Top row.
Delay pending. Top row, I had Sean Kenny Dowell for 4.94 points. Then I had Aiden Guerra for 3.32 and Josh Curran for 5.38. But Freddie Lussick was a great shout there. Missed that one.
I'll go next. I've got 5 or more tries. Roosters, Wizard, Skinny Burn, Todd Byrne, 1.06. Origin try and Roosters, Nate Miles, 3.47. I went and checked this. He scored 1 try in Origin, so I got very lucky there. And then I also had Freddie Lussick, 2.97. Paul?
I've got Ryan Cross, Brain, 1.38. Angus Crichton, 2.94. Freddie Lussick, 2.97.
Searley didn't get the Freddie Lussick memo. Tough.
Poor from me.
Teddy, middle row, please.
They've struggled on this row. 5 or more finals tries, debut 2015, 2020. Maybe we're a little conservative. Wasn't quite sure whether it was a 14 debut or something like that. So Ryan Pappenhausen, 5.09. Scored a try in Origin, debut 2015 and 20. I thought it was a bit stiff here. Cody Walker, 6.13.
Ooh.
And one of my least favourite players who ever played for the Warriors, I cannot believe people actually think he's good. Now, there were certainly a few people at Tab who did. Absolutely horrific player. Ken Momalo, 2.95.
Shout out to Ken.
Yep.
Sorry for the drive-by, Ken.
Poor bloke's trying to get a new club, and here's Teddy out there just spraying him.
Crikey.
Searley, your middle row.
I also had Ryan Pappenhausen. Then for my score to try in Origin and debut 2015 to 2020, I had Xavier Coates. Got a brain for that, 2.92. Was surprised. Wow. And then for my Warrior to debut 2015 to 2020, brother of Paulie for great Nathaniel Roach, another brain, 0.58.
You guys will dominate this Warriors debut between 2015 and 2020.
5 or more finals tries debuted 2015 to 2020. I went Suliasi Vunivalu, 6.00. I thought it was a bit stiff there. Scored a try in Origin, Jerome Luai, 3.45. And then I got a brain, Warriors debut 2015 2020, Mason Leno, 0.78.
I went Josh Adokar, 13.48. Xavier Coates, brain, 2.92. And Marata New Kore, 2.73.
Ted, bottom row.
5 more tries, Broncos, Wendell Saylor, 4.14. Scored a try in Origin, played for the Broncos. A brain, 1.46, Brad Thorne. And, Warriors and Broncos player. Look, I didn't have too much time thinking about this, but I think Warriors, I think Broncos, I think one player, I think Mr. Bleeder himself, Kevin Campion, old Beetroot Head, 2.91, one of the greats.
It's a pretty good score for Kevin Campion,
yeah.
This skews when you go older. It favors older. So if you can think of someone in the 2000s, early 2000s, you're going to score well.
Searley?
Not scoring well. Went with Darren Lockyer for 10.17. That really hurt me. Then for score to try in Origin from the Bronx, Ben Hannett for 3.6. And then Warriors, Broncos, Jesse Arthurs, the kid from Rotorua, 2.57. That was a brain.
Wow.
Nice.
I went 5 or more finals tries, Broncos. I went Teddy's man, Israel Folau, 3.52.
Oh, man, please.
Man, Lockyer hurt me, eh? It's truth.
Origin try, Broncos, Xavier Coates, 1.96. And Warriors, Broncos, Joel Moon, 1.66. A wizard.
One of the greats, Joel Moon.
Joel Moon.
Bring us home, Paul.
Israel Folau, 3.52. Sean Berrigan, 2.73. And just like Searley, I also got 2.57 for the last square for Denon Kemp, brain.
The beak. All right, totals. Teddy.
27.6.
Silly.
Oh, Karl's done it. How good. I was 38.6. Pretty dusty.
24.9.
Hey.
35.2.
Fourth. You bastard.
On the podium.
On the podium. Unlucky Searley.
Paul's first time on the podium and there's often only 3 answers.
All right, let's quickly have a look at this week. We will talk about the Warriors game shortly, but if Teddy, what other game would you like to talk about?
From a betting point of view, let's have a chat about the Storm game. The Eagles Storm, Battle of Brookvale, always a good match. Big surprise here, Jerome Hughes is back. Has firmly put the Warrior, the Storm in it as a bet for me this week. Manly are very good at home, but they've still got no Tom Trbojevic. They've got Jason Sale back this week, but they look very, very thin. I know they gutsed out against the Broncos on Magic Round, but Just some stats here for you. They'll get you excited. I know big numbers, man, Karl. Teams are scoring 48 plus cover at 67% in the last 4 years. Teams are scoring 48 plus cover at 73% in the last 4 years when they're travelling in the state. That number holds up since 2008, 63%. So they're just about 26 to 15 against the spread against teams outside the top 8. I'm just all over the Storm this one. Jerome Hughes back really kind of solidified that for me. So they've been back from 1.5 point favourites to 3.5, 4.5 point favourites around the joint. So love the Storm this week.
Yep, they are 3.5 point favourites. You get $1.85 for that. Manly $2.25 head to head. Storm $1.65. Who you tipping in this one, Paul?
Can I have my own game?
Oh, just who are you going to take in that game?
Oh, Storm.
Yeah.
You don't think Bellamy's pulling a Swifty here and he's named Hughes and he'll pull him just before the game?
Well, I did read that he was still a chance of not playing.
Yeah.
Just seems like because they've got a bye coming up as well. You know, he
It's not
could really
Bellamy's go.
have.
It's not Bellamy's go to do. It's not Bellamy's go to do that. I don't think it's Bellamy's go.
All
Could be
right.
wrong.
Searley, what game outside of the Wars?
Probably the game of the week for me outside of that is the Sharks-Panthers game. I think this is going to be a doozy. We spoke about the Panthers and how filthy they'll be. Ivan Cleary certainly didn't mince his words at the press conference. He'll have this one up in a major way. Sharkies always really strong at home too, so this is going to be a heck of a game. Can the Sharks go 3 massive wins on the bounce, or will the Panthers just show their class and bounce back after a really disappointing shift? If this game was at Penrith, I'd be all over the Panthers at those odds, but the fact it's a home game for the Sharks makes me a little nervous.
Keen to hear, Teddy, what the stats say in this game, but the ones that I've dug up, Panthers have won 6 of the last 7 head-to-head. The home team's won 8 of the last 10, but the Sharks have won 5... It's either 5 straight or 5 of the last 6, and 7 of the last 10 at home against the Panthers.
Yeah, 5 straight at Shark Park. Yeah, all those numbers are right. Key number for me though here is Penrith of a loss. Penrith are the bounce back team. If not only won, they've covered 14 of 17 off a loss. The Shoes have covered 9 of 11 off conceding 22 plus, and they left for the big games, 19 and 9 against the spread against top 4 teams. This is a huge spot. And now the Sharks, who have been underdogs against big teams the last few weeks, they go with the expectation. I think it's a nice spot for Penrith. I'll be backing Penrith this week. And I think the better bet in the game is the under. I think this is going to be a low scoring grind. Penrith have a loss. The under 7-6, 8-3 and off conceding 22 plus. No Cleary. They're going to try and win this game for defence. And I can see it being a real grind.
Do you have anywhere in your little book of stats the last time Penrith started as an underdog?
You go to the next person and ask a question. I'll come back to you with that immediately.
I saw that the Panthers haven't won at Shark Park since 2012 as well, which I found a pretty crazy stat when you think about their dominance over the last 3 or 4 years.
They don't play a lot at Shark Park.
No.
As it is, like there's been some of those Sydney teams play each other once a year, and they seem to be one of those rivalries that play each other once a year.
Big rivalry. What do you like, Paul?
I don't like. I love the Bunnies. Just they look to be a team on the rise, and the Eels look to be a team on the down. And obviously, another game under his belt for Latrell, Whiten, and Cody get together in the halves. I think they've got a big bench as well. It's time for them to jump up. I can't believe they're $1.90 the pair.
$2.20 the other day, Paul. $2.20.
Yeah, well,
4 teams were named.
But that was the same.
I was surprised at the price. I should have obviously jumped on. So last time Penrith were outsiders was in round 1 against the Roosters, which was last year.
Yeah.
Gee.
I was really hoping you're going to go back to like 2015 or 2016 or something then.
Lottery origin period. They're always outside in origin.
Yeah. Okay. Just on the Bunnies, Bunnies have won 6 of the last 7, 8 of the last 10 against Para. They've won the last 2 at a course stadium. But their away team has won 3 of the last 4 and 5 of the last 7 in this fixture, which I don't think will happen this week, but just a little nugget I found there. Teddy, what else have you got in this game? You said earlier you've got stats to tell a story.
Oh, I've got some stats. Don't mind that. Well, first of all, a sad week last week when South covered against the Cowboys. They ended a 16-game non-cover streak, which was the longest streak of not covering since I've kept stats since 2008. So sad moment. So doff of the cap there. Main stat here, though, Trent Barrett. The last 3 years, he is 12-46 as a head coach. He has coached five seasons. 4 of those seasons, he has won 33% or fewer games, including 2021 when he went 3-21. Absolutely horrific. In a team with Tom Trebojevic, Jake Trebojevic, Daly Cherry Evans, Adam Fanua-Blake, and a host of other good players, took Manly to 8-16 in 2016. So that was a real special effort there. So also in that team, who was playing a few of the other names, George Defer, his peak was there. Brett Stewart was still playing. Jamie Lyon, 8-16. No team can win with Trent Barrett. He is an absolute myth. South, the only thing that could keep South away from victory in this one is South playing the long game and trying to get Trent Barrett the job as coach, and agreeing with the other teams to start tanking to get Trent Barrett the gig, because that is the only way. That is the only way Parramatta will win this game. South absolute morales. I'm with you, Paul.
The average winning margin in the last 10 in these two, 19.8. I wouldn't be surprised to see that again. Something similar.
Yeah, I think Latrell's going to have a monster of a game.
Yeah. Like the Bunnies, Searley, or you back in Trent Barrett?
No, yeah, I'm back in the Bunnies, especially after Teddy's inspirational speech right there.
Well, Parramatta was so inspired by that speech. I think I'm getting an interview for the head coaching job along with 37 others.
One that I quickly want to touch on before we look at the Warriors game, the Broncos-Titans. I guess Broncos on paper, you would take them every time, but keen to see what you have here, Teddy. But it looks to me like the play here is the Titans at the line. They've split the last 8 matches head to head. The last 8, 4-4, and the last 10, 5-5. Broncos have obviously got a very good record at Suncorp, but this fixture seems to play havoc. And I think the Titans have covered 7 straight, if I'm right there, this season. And for me, they are a play at 13.5 this week.
Yep. So I am with you completely. The Gold Coast have beat the Broncos 4 of the last 6 at Suncorp. A few nice little angles here for the Titans. They've covered 11 of 16, meaning in double digits. They've covered 11 of 17 in Queensland. Covered 5 of their last 6 at Suncorp. And yeah, like you said, they're on a long streak here. I think I had 6, but it could well be 7. But also super notable here, I do not think Reece Walsh has any moral to play. He was named. I don't think there's any moral to play to come back. I'm not sure they'll be risking him, or he'll want to risk himself per Origin. Was named, could well play, but I don't think he's any certainty to play. So if I'm backing the Titans, which I am, I'll be jumping on early, which I have. So get around them early.
Nice. And as I said, the other game, Warriors, Dolphins. Warriors get a whole host of players back. Rocco Berry, Marata Niakorde's back. Freddie Lussick's back. Egan is out. Searley, one for you. Hope you've got the ear to the ground. Chanel Harris-Tavita has been named in the reserves. Do we think he's going to come in?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I wonder if Rocco does play. That's got to be the quickest recovery from a hand fracture ever, 1 week. And I also saw Graham Moala-Taufa named in an extended bench as well, and he's been going great guns for New South Wales Cup. That bench to me looks really big. You got 3 props on there at the moment. So I assume either Roach or Chanel would come into the lineup. with that return of Maratania Kore, you probably don't need to carry the 3 props. And I thought Jazz was outstanding last week, so maybe that leaves a Tom Ale to drop off. He's been going great guns as well too, though. So yeah, there's some tough selection calls there for Webby. I was really surprised to see Rocco though.
Well, I think Ali Latour picked up an injury too, didn't he? So that's
they're saying that could be 2 or 3 months. That's unofficial at the moment, but he did that ankle really early in that game and just soldiered on because he knew that there was no one that could come and fill in. So the performance that he put in, he could barely walk after the game. So,
wow. The note on the bench I had was what's the play here? We got 4 big or aggressive bodies. I think I'd rather see Roach come in, especially given how he played, and then use that 1-2 punch with Lussick in the dummy half there, especially the way the Dolphins play.
It's going to be interesting though, because if they're not sure around Rocco, do you put Chanel in there so that if he goes down, Chance goes to centre, Chanel can go into the halves? I guess there's all sorts of plays that come into the equation around it, but I certainly think Paulie Roche deserves a crack after last week. His service and his work around the ruck was unreal.
Anything to add in the Warriors, Paul? What do you think of the bench makeup?
I'm fine with the bench makeup with 3 big bodies there, and then like a proper 14. So it'll be interesting to see just whether there's a few changes to the starting lineup before we get to kick off on Sunday afternoon. But that's huge by the young fella Leotawa. If he was carrying an injury throughout that game, he certainly didn't look like it when he was playing. I guess the adrenaline kept him going.
Teddy, before I throw to you some stats that I've got, Warriors have won 1 in a row. They've beaten a top 4 team last time they played, and they're back at Mount Smart.
Back at Mount Smart's not real great news, is it? Because they've only covered 2 of their last 10 at home.
Hang on.
2 of them.
They've covered 5 of their last 6 at Mount Smart against teams ranked higher than them on the ladder. And they've also won each of their last 6 home games against teams on a winning streak.
There you go. They've covered 2 of their last 8 at home off a win. And home dogs off a win covered 39% rounds 9-12. I don't think all's lost for the Warriors. I think the Dolphins are the better team. I'll be backing the Dolphins. And I think that getting Max Black back is big for them. I think they've got the ability to run. I think where the Dolphins match up really well against the Warriors is they've got the ability to run them around and play on their edges, which I think is where the Warriors are their weakest. Like they don't need to play the Warriors through the middle. I think that's where Penrith maybe struggled a bit last week. Having said that, the thing that gives me pause about just unloading on the Dolphins here is this is just their 2nd trip out of Queensland and their 1st trip south of Queensland. All they've done is play warm weather games. But I'm sure you guys can tell me, but my memory of living in New Zealand was not all that warm in May.
Partly cloudy, a few showers. Southwesterlies becoming strong.
Yeah, and they play a dry weather style of football. The Knights, the Dolphins. So, little worry there. I think there is a good bet in this game though. I'll be backing the under. I think there's some good under angles here. The under is 11-7 when the Warriors play at Mount Smart. 10-5 when they're off conceding 20+. 11-5 when the Dolphins play at night. 7-4 when they're off a double-digit win. So I like them. They have a couple of solid defensive teams. I was impressed, particularly what impressed me with the Warriors last week was their hustle and defense. But they scrambled really, really well, and they swarmed in pass, which was really good stuff. I think that kind of will end itself around this game.
That cover tackle, I think it was on Taruva.
Yeah.
I think it was Tuopiki who tackled for, and then Nickel Clockstar came across as well, and they got him I think they got Tuopiki for a high tackle, but that was the sort of defence that was on display throughout that game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get done. I thought he was going to sent off when I first saw that.
Well, I thought they were going to disallow the try on the right-hand side and I think it was Jackson Ford who was the decoy runner once again, and he hit
the
Dylan
line.
I think he hit Dylan Edwards.
Just stop, man.
And I'm going, no. Edwards was not going to get across, but they have been ruling that pretty much. I don't know if the referees have taken a slightly different angle on these things, but that's pretty much been a no try since round one.
It's been a no try for the last 3 weeks with Jackson Ford running that line. We don't need to have a word to him at training this week, please, Searley.
Yeah, just stop running.
Yeah. What about? I'm getting off topic here a little bit, but
as we do,
the 2 hip drops in that game. Every other game, those players have been yellow carded, and these 2, luckily for the Warriors, it was just put on a report.
What were the hip drops? I don't remember.
There were 2. There was one on each side. I can't remember who. Forget. We'll probably cut that out. Forget about it.
Yeah, don't bring anything to the judiciary that doesn't need to be counted.
Let's not bring that back up. No. Yeah.
All right, let's get to some betting and wrap this thing up.
Right.
We've got $100 each to put on anything we like. I'm going to go to the phone. I've got Blake's bets here. And I've just got a delayed text from Searley saying my delay is all at sea. So
I'm back.
He's back. Blake this week has got 2 plays. He's got a 3-leg $80 multi. He's got Roosters minus 3.5, Broncos minus 5.5, and Bulldogs head-to-head. And then he's got a $20 2-leg multi, Panthers 1-12, into the Wars 1-12. Those are Blake's bets. Teddy, what have you got?
All right. I'm going to have three multis actually. $40 multi to kick off with, a line multi. I'm going to have Storm head-to-head into Raiders plus 11.5, into Souths head-to-head, into Titans plus 13.5 there.
Yep.
I'm sure Paul will do the maths and what that'll be. That should be about $12, something like that. We're going to have a $40 total multi. I'm going to have under 40.5 in the Cronulla Panthers game, into over 47.5 in the South Para game. I'm going to have a $20 little try scoring multi here. Just the absolute morales for this week. We've got Xavier Coates. I think you get about $1.90 odd for Xavier. Alex Johnston. Into here's my little play debutant Tony Francis, who's 67, scored 38 tries in 41 Queensland Cup games. Absolute try scoring free. And the Broncos, they can see down their left. He'll play on the right wing, Tony Francis. So I think we will. I can do the numbers for you there, Paul, when you go somewhere else, but that'll be around the $8 to $10 mark. I would have thought.
Nice, just making numbers up. That's cool. Searley, what do you got?
Yeah,
we based the whole podcast around it, Paul. Karl, what are you talking about? Double checked all these stats already.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, those all just made up. Gotta love it. I've got 2 multis here. The first one I'm chucking $90 on, and that's Panthers and Manly, both with the alternative start of 13.5. I think Hughes is going to be scrubbed out, so I wouldn't mind getting on Manly as well if that's the case, but I'll play it safe there. And then I got Warriors and Dogs head-to-head. That gives me $5.23. Warriors are going to win. Redcliffe have only won 2 of their 16 wins outside of Queensland, so they don't travel well, and we're going to beat them. And then for my Leary multi that I got $10 on, Warriors 1-12, Bunnies minus 2.5, Mariner and Walsh duos, 2+ combined tries. And then I also threw in Murray Tuolangi purely because Cowboys were staying at a hotel. Every time I went down to reception, there he was. Murray Tuolangi just following me around like a bad smell. Surely that was an omen. He's going to score. That multi pays $20.77. I'm chucking a tenner on that. Get up, Murray.
Nice. What a name.
Possibly could be a fan of the podcast. He was just trying to ask Searley if he could get on.
Yeah. An autograph. I'll go next, and then you can bring us home, Paul. I've got 3 plays this week. $50 on a 2-leg multi. I've got Gold Coast plus 13.5 into the Rabbitohs head-to-head at $3.61. $40 on the Warriors 1 to 12 at $3.05. And then a $10 4-leg try-scoring multi, Dom Young, Xavier Coates, Alex Johnston, and DWZ, $8.46.
All right, 2 multis for me, both $50 each. The first multi, Bunnies head-to-head, over 47.5 in the Cowboys-Tigers game, and Panthers head-to-head. That comes out at $8.12. And then I'm taking a try-scorer double. And one of them has been bagged by Teddy on this podcast. So
that could be a number of any players.
Yeah, it's a long list.
Not named. Hitler not named.
I'm taking Valentine Holmes to score a try, into Latrell Mitchell to score a try. That comes out at $5.17, $50 on.
Fantastic. What about promos this week?
Yep, promos. We've got the same game claims on any of the games on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And you can only qualify for one each day. So just head to the promotions tab on the TAB website or app and check out all the T's and C's. And, of course, the Oval Ball Mega Multi Buster.
Do you know a market we had last week? I'm going to see if we can get it back. Was try scorer bingo.
Oh,
Yeah,
bingo's the best. Try score
I got
bingo
on
is the most fun you'll have all weekend. When Big Mark Nichols crashed over in the last game.
And he got up, yeah.
And about.
Yeah.
$6 for jerseys 1 to 13 to get up last week.
Happy to say I was on that.
Yep.
Is this the round special?
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to have to go and talk
every
to the
week.
bookies.
Well, speak to your Australian comrades. They've got not only have they got that up, they've got different little ones for each day of the week. They've got like Friday backline bingo and stuff like that, which is all very exciting.
Yeah.
You like this, Teddy? I was talking to a guy in the Caxton car park, which they, cars don't park in it on Magic Round, and just having a chat. And he goes, "Oh, gee, I tell you, one thing they should bring back: fastest man in rugby league."
Should they what?
Nick Tedeschi v. Tom Eisenhuth.
They'd have to start this week if they were going to finish by grand final time.
All right, that will do us today. Teddy, thank you very much as always.
Tremendous. Thank you for having me.
Same to you, Searley. Hopefully you're still there.
Yeah, apologies for the internet. Much like my brain, it's still buffering, just coming back to life.
Thank you, Paul. Good fun as always. And
if you got on the wires early, they were 225 before the game against the Panthers on Sunday. They were 225 against the Dolphins before that game on Saturday. They came into 210 after that, and then after Teamless Tuesday into $1.90. So if you got the early odds on the wires, well done.
Shit, if you're backing the wires weeks in advance, you're a true sicko and a true wires fan. I love that.
Yes, and I salute you.
Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week to do it all again. Cheers.